Hello and welcome to the latest instalment of the Rangers Women's Supporters Group podcast. The three of us are back this week, joined by Alan and Cara as always. How are you both doing?
I know bad, a bit warmer than yesterday.
Yep. Thawed it a bit, Alan?
Yeah, thoroughly thought it. A wee bit of benefit of doing the podcast a day later.
Yeah, absolutely. We were too tired and freezing last night. We had to all thaw it and whatnot. So we went up at Westdyke ladies up in the middle of a field, basically. The things we do for this club, I'll tell you. But it started with quite a strong team. We had Essen, Hill, Medag, Hay, Howitt, Bell, Ross, Arnott, Chelsea Cornett, Camille Laffey, and Jodie McCleary. So quite a strong team, Alan, despite all the absences.
Yes, it shows the depth of squad that we had such a strong team, even with so many players clearly not having travelled. So it's only a question of who would maybe fill in at the back. But as you saw from the warm ups, Jodie was in the back three with Kathy and Tess. But good to see starting so strong. We're probably just a wee bit disappointed we didn't see some more youngsters in the squad. Perfect opportunity for him.
Yeah, definitely, Kat. And no doubt about who was in goal because we only travelled with one goalkeeper, which was something you don't see very often.
It's not, we were joking about it before the game, like who was going to fill in if, God forbid, something happened to Vic. And we're like, well, it's got to be Tess or Kathy because they're the tallest ones that would be the best, but not that they had that much to do yesterday, realistically. But yeah, it's not something I don't think we'll see again unless we do come up against a lesser, lower league team in the cup, I suppose.
Yeah, so obviously the game did finish 24-1, Alan, so we're not going to go through it goal by goal, otherwise we might be here and miss the Wednesday's game. So we're just going to briefly go over the first half. We had 2 goals for Brogan Hay, 2 goals from Kirsty Howitt, Camille Laffey scored, Lizzie Arnott scored, Jane Ross scored, Chelsea Cornett scored, and there was an own goal, plus Westdyke managed to get a goal for themselves. So a bit of a slow start and then goals galore after that.
Yeah, I thought it was quite a slow and quite a sloppy start from us. Brogan did score early, but we're actually struggling to play the ball out from the back. Westdyke actually were quite organised in a press and pressed quite high, which was probably a surprise to anybody watching. But after we gave the ball away and they took advantage and scored a really good goal, it made it 2-1 at the time. I think we just got into gear and really just played through. I think the good thing to say is not many of the goals came from bad errors for Westdyke. I think it was just we were sort of fitter, faster and stronger and literally ran over the top of him. Their own goal was a wee bit comical, but that part I thought the goals were really well worked and it was good to see a spread of players scoring.
Yeah, Kat, it was obviously 9-1 at half time, as you would expect. We probably could have had a few more than that if we didn't keep hitting the ball at the goalkeeper, as happened. But a good showing, obviously, the first half, and I think it was to be expected. It was probably more surprising that we actually conceded one, but it was actually quite a good goal that I think Westdyke are going to show and repeat for quite a wee while.
Yeah, and I don't blame them for doing it, considering they're they're in the championship, aren't they? So they're 2 leagues below us. So the fact that they managed to get the ball off us and score a pretty good goal is one that they probably should dine out on for a while. But it was just sloppy defending from us. But we do that against better teams, so it's not really surprising that we did it yesterday. But good few goals. Probably should have been a few more realistically. Kirsty Howitt hitting the goalkeeper, Jane hit the goalkeeper a couple of times. But with that many changes in the squad, it still is pretty strong considering, but without half the team there, it just took a wee bit. And I think the pitch wasn't the best for playing on for the team, but we did what needed to be done and probably could have just stopped at half time and the game would have been done, but we kept going.
Yeah, we did a very professional performance, I suppose you could say, Alan, with the way they kept going. So at half time, we took off Kathy Hill, Camille Laffey, Jodie McCleary, and Chelsea Cornett. On came Charlie Devlin, Mia McCauley, Lily Boyce, and Ailey Austin. nice to see really getting our competitive debut at what, 15, 16?
Still 15, I believe. So she was away training with the squad in Spain in the summer, and she's been involved in a few match squads this season and yet to come on. So to see her back in the squad, it's been harder to get in the squad with more players returning for fitness and some first team players having to be left out of match day squads. So seeing Lily come on and make her competitive debut was great. So she came on and played sort of left side of the back three, and certainly wasn't tested like she might have been at a higher level of a game, but she looked composed. She was happy to go and get the ball and run on and make passes, and generally looked very comfortable, which was great to see.
Yeah, Karen, I think she was unlucky not to score as well, but we did have plenty of other goals to talk about. Just another 4 for Jane in the second half, 3 for Mia. Sarah Ewan's got a couple. Megan Bell got a lovely free kick, which she scored from, which is her speciality basically, so no surprises there. Lizzie scored, Charlie scored, and I think my favourite goal of the day was Ailey Austin going a bit of a mazy run and then just stroke it home as Ailey does. She likes to switch up with the goals she scores.
She does, and there was a couple before them when she basically did the same thing, picked up the ball basically halfway up the pitch, ran, had passed it a couple of times prior to that, but she just took it on herself, and probably goal of the game if you're discounting Westdyke's goal in the grand scheme of things. The rest of them were a lot of tap-ins, a lot of kind of easy goals the keeper probably should have done better, but that one, the way she picked it up and she just looked angry, she was like, I want this, and ran with it the length that she did and hit it and perfectly into the bottom corner. Couldn't ask for much more on a freezing cold night up north.
Yeah, definitely got really cold by the end of the game as well. Baltic, I think Debbie had said to me, so definitely. Just staying with you there, Cash. Good to see Sarah Ewan's returning. Obviously, I think she put a message that she's basically got a full new ankle because she's had it basically rebuilt after it getting, I think it got broken or whatever. So good to see her back, and then obviously getting a couple of goals as she does, because another prolific goal scorer in their mids.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely going to give Joe a headache now having her back. You've got Jane, Wilco, Rio to pick from. You've got, how do you pick and choose? But perfect game really for her to come back and just kind of didn't look like she'd been away that long. Obviously said she'd had a lot of surgery done on her ankle, and basically new ankle. So it's good that she's back running, back to fitness, and she can maybe give up the photography. Not that she's bad at it. I'm not saying she's bad at it, but maybe she can put that to the side and continue playing football now instead of focusing on that for a minute.
Yeah, I think she could maybe just do that if she's for the bench, or get a wee rest, and then she can come on and give it back to Luke and show her on that. Anytime. Alan, a big talking point that wasn't on the highlights, but I think we need to discuss was the yellow for the keeper, which clearly should have been a red. I think Joe's probably still shouting at the lino that she should have been
Yeah,
red.
just like all of us were, it was a jokey decision, but yeah, I think it was a very clear example of the referee just taking a bit of pity on Westdyke. Keepers came charging out. Mia McCall was running through and goal. I can't remember, maybe Megan or Kirsty Howard running beside her. So two of our players running clean through and goal, and the keeper just comes and wipes Mia out. It's as easy as a red card as you can possibly get, and the referee thinks about it for a wee while and then goes and gives a yellow, which absolutely nobody there in attendance could believe, and probably none of the Westdyke players could believe it either. But it was never going to impact the result. But you'd like to think, if it wasn't a sort of sympathy vote, a referee would make the right call and send a keeper off there. Thankfully, it didn't end up hurting Mia, and I think that's the free kick that Megan scored from.
It's the kind of decisions though that the referees can't really say, oh, he's our winner anyway, because if that's in a bigger game and they're just going to go, well, he's going to win anyway, so we'll just no send it off. It's just a bit like, just sums up the refs. It's like, rather than actually just doing their job, they just have to go, we'll just know. And I think that's why Jo was so annoyed, because she was saying, well, my player's just been taken out. Mia looked kind of hurt, because I think it was just because of the dodgy pitch that she kind of bumped her head a wee bit. And then the line was just standing going, no, 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 to Jo. And she's like, no, what? Like, it's a red card. So it just shows the incompetence of the refs, that they're just having a bit of a pity party for Westdyke rather than actually doing their jobs.
I mean, if Vic did that, it's 100% a red card, and she's sitting off every day of the week. So the fact that they've not given it because, you're already, 16-1 up at that point, so we'll just, it's fine. But she takes Mia out, she's the last player, she comes charging out, takes her out. The line will say no to Jo, and we're going, no, what? Because she didn't say anything at that point, and then he says, no, it's not. I mean, I don't get it, but if they want to take pity on them, that's fine, but it's not really the way football works. You can't pick and choose the rules that you want to implement. They have to be the rules for a reason, so I don't really understand what situation was there, but I think they all knew, hand on heart, that was a red card, and they probably should have been sent off, but it is what it is. It wasn't mentioned in the highlights probably for that reason, because they didn't want people being like, well, they scalped them 24-1, so it doesn't really matter at that point, but it should, because it's still the rules. So.
Yeah, the rules are there for a reason. So as we say, Alan, it finished 24-1 to Rangers, obviously. The draw is at 7 o'clock. Obviously, we're recording this just before 6, so we've got about an hour to go until we find out who we get. But plenty of teams in there that are kind of still lower level, and then a few like Glasgow City and obviously Celtic and that go through as well. So who are you looking for in the draw? Anybody in particular?
It'd be nice for a bit less distance to cover than Westdyke, but Carl's jinxed it by saying we'll get Elgin, so we're all waiting for that draw, and we can blame Carr if that's what comes out the hat. But I think it was good to see that we were quite as professional yesterday, playing sort of a lower league opposition. We were never going to come out in the game with any great credit, because we're expected to win massively, and we do. And all we can do is focus on sort of our team and look at how positive we were. Look at the fact that we kept going, and we've done a really professional job. So more of the same. If we do draw a similar level team, and if we draw a bigger team, then let's make sure we're ready for it. I know the next round's on the weekend of the 2nd of February, so we got a wee bit of time before we get to that. We get small mark here, another cup semi-final before that, though.
Yeah, plenty of games till then. Car, you've already kind of predicted the Elgin, so I'll not ask you who you're wanting or predicting, so we're just going to stick with that. But just on Alan's point there, the professionalism of obviously the team to keep going and not kind of give it up, because they're kind of damned if they do, damned if they don't, because the scale per team, and it's like, oh, women's football is this, women's football is that, it's a cricket score and all this, but if they were to go out there and only win 10-1, then it's like, oh, they're rubbish, how they only beat them that, it's a team 2 leagues below them or whatever. So the way that the chances were there, they took their chances, which Jo would expect for them, so the way they did their job, so there's not much more you can ask for them to obviously be professional and do their job.
Yeah, I mean, as Alan says, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. You have to go out and do that. And it's not as if Westdyke weren't there. They did put in challenges and made it difficult for us. To their credit, it's not as if they just all stood there and let us run past them. They were putting in challenges and creating a bit of defence, I suppose. But there's not much else you can do. You have to go out. We could have scored about 30, the chances that we missed, but don't want to dwell on that when you've won 24-1. It's a bit daft to be moaning about that, but it's just, obviously the game wasn't streamed anywhere, so people wouldn't know that, and from the highlights you wouldn't know that because it's literally just the goals. The fact that the highlights are only 12 minutes long is mind-boggling to me, because I was expecting it to be about 20 minutes long, but it's just the way that it works. So is it maybe a thing that we look at putting the higher up teams in later in the competition? Is that a conversation that maybe needs to be had if that keeps happening? Because you look at the Celtic game and they won 13-0 against
Glasgow women and girls.
Yeah. So it's the kind of thing that can happen if you're coming up against lower, like league teams. Obviously, they want to be in the competition later, so they will have to face that if it comes to it. But maybe it's a point that maybe we set out a couple of more rounds so that these scores don't happen.
Yeah, and it makes it more competitive for them, because if it was Westdyke against Glasgow women and girls, you maybe get a few goals apiece or whatever. It makes it more competitive, but that's up to the powers to be. Anything to add to that, Alan? You look like you were going to say something.
It's a valid sort of argument, but for these teams, how many times are these girls going to get to come up against, one of the top Glasgow teams, or even one Hibs or Hearts? Even you look at the Morrow result, they're playing a team one division below, and they've done a really professional job and scored 7 goals without reply. So these results can happen. At the end of the day, we're a professional full-time team, and we're playing a team that is struggling in their league, and trains maybe a couple of times a week. So it's the sort of result you probably would expect, but rarely do we actually see somebody actually go out and take so many of the chances.
Yeah, and I suppose from a revenue point of view, they would be rubbing their hands together yesterday when they had a queue really long for people going and getting drinks and pies and all this kind of thing as well. So they'll have made quite a pretty penny with it being a decent crowd and everything as well. But we'll see what happens in the future. Just quickly, Alan, player of the match for yesterday?
I thought you could probably give it to any a few players. Programme was excellent all day, but Jane had 5 goals and 5 assists. Absolutely brilliant centre forward performance. Absolutely rolling back the years. So, I'd have to go with Jane for that.
Do you agree with that, Car?
I mean, you could pick any of the 15 players that were involved yesterday, and any of them could stand out. But I kind of want to give it to Brogan, because she probably should have had a hat trick. She could have had a few more goals, but she was really unselfish running up and down that wing, especially the second half. Played a lot of balls across to get Jane goals. I think there's one for Lizzie as well. So I think I'm going to give it to Brogan just for her work rate. And Jane's likely to score that many goals against a lot of teams that we come up against. So I think that's part and parcel of her job.
Yeah, both good shouts. I think I would give it to Megan Bell. She's obviously been out the team for a bit of time, and then to come in and do a professional job. She did kind of make a bit of a mistake for their goal, but we'll forgive her for that.
I don't think it was just Megan's mistake.
No.
I think it was a team mistake. But
I think it's just she got the earful for Joe for it, but I don't think it was totally her. But to come in, she was professional, got 90 minutes under her belt. I think she kind of said that's a weight off her shoulders, getting 90 minutes. Just beautiful free kick for as well as she does. So yeah, but any of them could have got it. Ailey could have got it for her goal, and Brogan was great. Jane was great. Lizzie was great. They were all just gave it to them all. So up next, we do have a game on Wednesday. We are away to K Park again. Seems to be the latest place we're just going to visit for a few times. 8 p.m. Wednesday. Pay at the gate, as always, Alan. And I think probably see Wilco and Rio and that coming back after their wee rest. Nick probably back in as well.
yeah, expect a few sort of changes. We'll see an even stronger team, and it's great. We've scored 24 goals in one game and then go and make the team stronger. Well, ironically, because of us, Morrow's team will get weaker. They'll lose 3 of their players that started their win yesterday. So I'd expect a good game. Morrow will always give a good test, but we should run out fairly comfortable winners in the end, as long as our attitude's good and we put the work in and we move the ball quickly. But it'll be another cold one. K Park's cold at the best of times, so going there in the middle of December on a Wednesday night is going to be absolutely Baltic. So anybody going should be wrapping up pretty well.
I think compared to yesterday, it might be a bit more tropical though, because yesterday was absolutely freezing. I was wrapped up with all my usual layers on and still felt a wee bit cold, so that was something else yesterday. But yeah, Motherwell came back. Obviously, we're saying their team gets weaker, but that's just the way the kind of loan system works. But Loanies at Motherwell had quite a good international break in that as well, so they're doing quite well anyway.
Yeah, they are. I mean, I was surprised to see that Laura Berry, if I could say her name correctly, was not involved in any of the goals yesterday when they won 7-0. We're driving back up, and Alan said that, and I couldn't believe it that she hadn't scored. It's madness, really, when you think about it. But just the way that it goes, you've got to give somebody else a shot, I suppose. But yeah, should be a good game. Obviously, we had the cup game against them and ran it 8-1 against them. So you're looking at probably maybe not as many, but much of the same performance, a good team performance. A lot of people involved. We'll have Nick, Liv, and Wilco, Rio, and everybody else back in. A bit annoying that Lily probably loses a place on the bench with Sarah Ewens being back, and likely maybe Ailey will miss out with having Chelsea in that back. So we've got a full squad now. So it's picking and choosing who you want to have on the bench, I suppose, which is a bit annoying for them, but it's just the way that it works out. But it should be, I don't want to say easy enough, but it should be straightforward.
So Car's basically said 8-1 again, Alan. Score prediction for you?
Oh, we need to shake a habit of getting a wee bit careless at the back, but it'll maybe no come in time for Wednesday, so I'll go for an entertaining 7-2 win.
You just said we want to be better at the back. We're losing.
No, I'm saying we do need to be better at the back. We'll see that improvement on Wednesday. I don't know, but you know, based on current form, you know, when we are being a wee bit shaky at the back, we might give Marvel some chances.
Just the way you were like, we need to be better at the back. We're going to lose 2 goals. Car, do you want to stick with 8-1 or do you want to change it a little bit?
No, I'm going to change it. I'm going to go a bit more conservative there. I don't think we'll get the same opportunity again, but I'm going to say we'll keep a clean sheet for once in the last 2 months. We'll keep a clean sheet, and I think it'll be more likely to be 4-0.
That's what I was going to go for. So
I think then.
You can go for 4.
I agree, you know.
You think, yeah, we can agree on that, or I could just go 4-1 because we probably will, as Alex can see.
We'll do that.
So there's that, and then we'll just touch on it because we'll not be talking about the Motherwell game until Sunday or Monday. Glasgow City on Sunday, Alan. So games coming thick and fast. Hits 12:10 at Peters Hill, live on BBC Alba. But games are coming thick and fast, and it'll be a tough game, obviously, as it always is against Glasgow City.
It'll be a very tough game going to Peters Hill. You know, the pitch is a wee bit bigger than last time we went to Peters Hill. We've got a new surface down there, so hopefully that'll suit us. You know, possibly, you know, City will have a very tough game on Wednesday night away at Hearts. But even if they do win, you know, Sunday's our chance to go back to the top of the league. So it's a massive game. We won away at Celtic, you know, so we improved a wee bit there on the last sort of round of games against the top 5. So let's make the most of a good run of form right now, and hopefully we go in and start well and continue well. But we're playing well. You know, we've got a lot of reason to be confident going into that game, and certainly it's a game I'm most confident about on Sunday.
That's, yeah, I'm going to just agree with that, yep. Car, obviously, thinking, Joe always says one game at a time, but I think maybe actually Ailey, doubt Lily will, but I think maybe Ailey would get a bit of game time on Wednesday with the view to, obviously, Glasgow City on Sunday, using this kind of depth of squad, what we've got.
Yeah, because obviously we don't know if Leah Eddy's back because obviously she missed out on the, I don't even know who we played before the international break. I can't even remember. Dundee United? No.
Dundee United, yeah.
Dundee United. So Leah Eddy wasn't on the bench. She wasn't involved, and she wasn't even like kitted up. So potential knock there, hopefully not. So, you know, if that is the case, then you just bring Raf back in and you bring Ailey on, give her some minutes, give her a chance, because there's not really much else you can do in that set. Obviously, we probably wouldn't need to make that many changes with Nick in that back, but it'd be nice if she could get some game time, because obviously the Glasgow City game likely not going to get much game time compared to a Motherwell game, so makes more sense to do it that way. I'd like Megan to keep her place, but that's not going to happen with the likes of Liv and Ennie and every other midfielder that we've got on the planet that's currently in our squad. So I don't know, but it'd be nice if it did happen.
I have a chance that Megan does get minutes Wednesday though, and then she probably drops back out Sunday. We've got such a big squad now, she's going to have to upset some of the players that are playing more often and kind of utilising the squad, I would say, but we'll see what happens. Watch, it'll be strong squad. Megan and that'll be again, and you just don't know. Did anybody do a loan report at all?
No, I was putting on my Christmas decorations.
Not a full loan report, but we do know obviously the three girls played at Marvel. Sophie and Mason did score. Sophie Townsley scored for Hamilton. Kirsten Love and Abby were on the bench. I've not seen the other teams. It's good to see Becca Taylor's back fit. She's on loan at Queen's Park. So she got some minutes in a friendly against Livy last week, but didn't play yesterday. But it's good to see our lone players out there and showing up well and getting game time. So I'm not sure how girls at Kilmarnock got on at the weekend or at Livy. I know Livy lost at home against Boroughmuir and someone may have started, but it is good to see so many of them getting game time.
Yeah, and so many of them getting through rounds with their teams as well, so even more football for them. As Alan said, they're good to see Becca back. She's had quite a bit of a lengthy layoff, Car, so good to see obviously another player back from a long injury.
Yeah, I mean, I missed that announcement because they obviously just tucked it in the loan report bit, and I didn't read that one clearly because Alan said it yesterday, and I was like, oh, I didn't know about that. Is she at Queen's Park? I wasn't aware of that situation. So good that she's obviously back fit, and now she's back, getting game time, hopefully, with Queen's Park, a team that, is struggling a little bit, so could do with some firepower to help them hopefully stay up. So, yeah, it's good. Obviously out for a really long time, so it'll be good for her and her family to be able to go and watch her play some football, and hopefully that's a sign that we want to keep her, see how she progresses, and see how we get on come the summer.
Yeah, with our brother Ross being at Stennismuir, there'd be as well just moving through this way because it's Queen's Park playing at Local View, Stennis obviously play there, so yeah. Just finally we'll wrap up with a very well done to Rachel Rowe, obviously formerly of this parish, going to be at the Euros. Obviously she was only with us for a short time, but she made a big impression on all the fans probably, but obviously with us as well, so congratulations to her, and obviously our players that we've still got, kind of commiserations to them, but it's just one of these things, Alan, isn't it?
Yeah, I wasn't going to touch on the internationals because, we'll just get into a Pedro bashing session. Brilliant to see Rachel Rowe having success there. She made a big impression on a lot of people, in her year up here, and hopefully we wish all our ex-players, they go away and they do sort of really well elsewhere. But dodging away for internationals, it was a really good club that covered the cost of the tickets for yesterday's game for everybody that replied to state they intended going. So, it was an unexpected but a very nice touch by the club.
Yep, definitely can, especially I think they probably went up and seen it and were like, don't think we can get that we pay for this, we'll cover the cost. But it's always a nice wee touch for the club that obviously they sent out an email saying that they thank everybody for their support and that they were going to cover the cost. So always a nice wee touch and a nice wee freebie.
Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't be mad about playing the £6 for it. I did expect there to be buckets somewhere because they said there'd be buckets for spare change, but I didn't see any. But I don't know if that was maybe in the cafe. Didn't really go down there because people kept saying the queue was too long and it was taking ages. But they don't really, I think, get 200 plus people on a match day, so I think they weren't quite ready for the amount of folk that turned up. But fair play to the club for actually doing something and appreciating the supporters that made the trek and went to the game. The freezing conditions, not the best location, but we do it anyway regardless. We do it if it costs £600 because we just love this team. So it was nice of them to appreciate that.
Definitely. I think we'll just need to end it there because we couldn't say it any better. So as always, thanks for joining me, Alan and Car.
Thanks, Laura.
We'll see you next time.